Good evening. Welcome to the first hearing of the Iowa Temporary Redistricting Advisory Commission. I'm Sue Lairdahl, and with me this evening are the commission members Jasmine Newton, David Roeder, Ian Russell, and Chris Hagenow. We have 3 hours together tonight with 3 minutes per speaker. We welcome written comments as well online, and we have received those who have submitted up until 5 o'clock this afternoon. Written comments will be accepted until September 22nd at 6 p.m. We expect perfect technology, but in the event technology disagrees, we appreciate your patience. You will receive a 15-second warning to allow you to complete your sentence of thought, and I reserve the right to disconnect if inappropriate for tonight's purposes. We appreciate the work of the legal staff and the computer staff of the Legislative Services Agency with scrunch time due to the census data timing and the decision for virtual hearings. And we appreciate your time as well to share your thoughts in accordance with the redistricting requirements in Code Section 42.4. An explanation of the redistricting process is online on the legislative website. And on our Thursday meeting, we'll take a little bit of time to kind of go through those for discussion purposes on that date. Greater information about the members will be available that day too. Given the timing of the release of the plan last week on Thursday, the commission's report needs to be completed by September 30th. Anybody? As of this moment on technology, none of the 8 speakers that have signed up are actually online to join us. We have one. Pardon? We have one person who has joined us to speak of the 8 that signed up for tonight, Mr. Ryan Crane. And so, Mr. Crane, if you would like to proceed, we are all ears. Thank you.
Good evening, everybody. I don't know if my camera is on or if I have the ability to turn my camera on, but I am here and I appreciate the time to speak. I just wanted to briefly encourage the folks who have the decision-making authority on this matter to consider our excellent reputation as being fair, as being nonpartisan, as being equitable, as being data and statistics driven on making these decisions. This is not a political matter. This is not a partisan matter. We have heard plenty about gerrymandering in both red states and blue states. And I'm pleased, just as a citizen, that we do this the right way through the Legislative Services Agency, and I applaud their excellent work. Just really, really encouraging folks not to turn this into a partisan matter, not to go political with this, not to kind of blow up the process. And in my opinion, honestly, it could be potentially, disgraceful and potentially generate negative headlines for us as a state if we were to abandon something that works and is nonpartisan to all of a sudden make it partisan. So that's kind of what I'd like to say, and I appreciate the folks on the call listening to my remarks. And I don't know what the process is, yield back, or I that's it. So thank you everybody for listening.
Thank you, Mr. Crane. Do we have anybody else?
We do. Michael Tallman.
Okay, please proceed. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you to the committee for all the work that you've done so far. It's been really interesting just seeing the map kind of play out. I've lived in Polk County for almost 3 decades. I grew up in Altoona as a kid. I moved to Des Moines as an adult and now have my first house with my husband in Sherman Hill in Des Moines. So I've kind of got to see how the city has grown, and with that has kind of grown in our relationship with the towns that are kind of around of us. We see Ankeny growing, Waukee, in Dallas County, and things like my sister lives just outside of Ankeny and works in Nevada. I live in downtown Des Moines and work in Dallas County. So just kind of seeing how all those things are connected I just, one of the things that would be important for me and in any map that does go through, all the drafts and stuff is just recognizing that relationship and how everything's a lot more interconnected than maybe it was even 10 years ago or 20 years ago. And how kind of cool that is to see that especially young people, with all the census data are staying within the area, maybe not necessarily in Des Moines itself, but some of the areas that surround us. So yeah, that relationship is really cool. And seeing a map that kind of reflected that would be really nice to have for the next 10 years.
Okay, anything else, sir?
No, again, just thank you so much for the work that you do. This is not an easy task that you have been handed, but you have done well with the cards that you have done. So I just appreciate the work. This is my first beginning meeting, so it's really cool.
Okay, thank you very much.
Our next person up is Brian Crane.
Okay, we've already had Mr. Crane.
Oh, I'm sorry, Marie Gleason.
Very good. Ms. Gleason, please proceed. Thank you.
Hi, and I'm sorry, it took me a while to get in, so is this just our chance to make comments?
Yes, it is. You have 3 minutes and we'll kind of cut you off here, or we'll tell you when your 3 minutes are pretty well up, so you proceed.
Okay, well, thank you all very much. I do appreciate too, all the work that you've done and definitely the efforts to make this nonpartisan. And really, I have one question. I wasn't sure how this was going to go tonight. Are there maps available that overlay the new districts on top of the old districts so that, kind of in one view, we're able to see the differences?
As in, I mean, we weren't going to talk, but you're asking as in you want an overlay of the maps on top of each other?
Right, the old with the new.
I can ask the computer experts if that is possible. And we can certainly, if it is, we can certainly try to do that.
Thank you very much.
Might you have other remarks?
That is it.
Okay, thank you. Do we have any more people waiting?
We do. We have a Nancy Porter.
Excellent. Ms. Porter, please proceed. Thank you. Ms. Porter, are you there?
Does not look like she's fully connected.
Okay, we could maybe skip her for the moment. Do we have one of the other signed up speakers available?
Nope, that's all we have so far.
Okay, well, don't go away. We have someone with us, Ms. Porter, are you back?
Can you hear me?
Yes, we can, thank you.
Oh, good. Well, that's a surprise. I'm sorry, this has been quite a challenge getting in. I'm not familiar with WebEx and these little icons.
Well,
Anyway, yes.
We're glad you stayed with it, good job.
Yeah, well, yes, persevered. Thanks.
Please proceed with your remarks.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say I've been so proud of Iowa setting a standard for redistricting. It has been nonpartisan. It's been set up by a commission. It goes through a 3-step process, and I not only believe it's the right thing to do, I know when my legislator, Vicki Lensing, was serving on the ethics committee, she was contacted by states all over the nation. How is it you do your redistricting that it's so fair? And she certainly shared with a lot of legislators across our country. And I go as far back as Jean Lloyd Jones, who served as my senator at one point in time. And she certainly was instigative with the League of Women Voters in getting this process going. My question was, and I apologize because it took me so long to get in. There was a young man who came up with a redistricting map for this year. He is a graduate student, but has already graduated, excuse me, from Grinnell University. And I was wondering if the committee had had a chance or even knew about this particular map that this young man drew after quite a bit of work statistically. His population difference is 5 people for each of the districts he drew. Don't know if it's quite as neat as the one that's current, but I just wondered if our panel, our commission had had a chance to look at it and if they had an opinion about it.
Well, Ms. Porter, this is not we're not into a conversation tonight. We're merely hearing remarks. There are multiple criteria. Population is only one of them in the code. And I can certainly look into, the availability of that. That's not really it's Plan 1, Plan 2, and Plan 3 if it comes to that, issued by the Legislative Services Agency. And so I think that's all I can really say about your possible other map.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else available to speak of the 8 speakers? We've got four done, and we're still looking for 4.
That's all we have so far signed in is the 4.
Okay. We'll just wait just a few minutes then, if that's okay with
Okay.
members. Are you guys okay with that? Thank you. Valerie, is there any more in the pipeline somewhere?
Nope, not yet.
Okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I do just want to say that the computer staff did email all of the speakers who had signed up tonight at the beginning of this evening. And so I'm not quite sure what to do here about the missing people.
How long have we waited?
I'm sorry.
How long has it been since our last speaker?
9 minutes and 31 seconds. We have the timer running here. That's the only reason I
You're pretty
have such
fast.
exactness.
We should at least wait 10 minutes here.
So almost 10 minutes, right? We can certainly contact them and encourage them to sign up. Neither of the next two hearings, the one tomorrow at noon and the one Wednesday at 6, neither of them have a lot of speakers at the moment. We could certainly contact the people, the 4 who have not spoken tonight, and remind them that those 2 opportunities also exist, as well as written comments. For those watching on YouTube, we would like to encourage as many written comments if the public doesn't want to speak, because we are reading all the written comments as well, to encourage everyone who wishes input to either sign up to speak or written. Do any of the members have a suggestion to how to proceed here?
Well, I guess my only comment was going to be, Sue, that I think we need, I mean, obviously we're not going to wait till 9 o'clock. I think that maybe we need, I don't know whether we need to post something or whatever on the others that the hearing will be over when the last speaker has spoken. So it's not like people, I don't think anybody thinks though that they could wait till 8:30 to come in.
Okay, let me ask, is it possible, I mean, at the beginning, we had a thing saying that we would be with them shortly. Can we add something if we happen to adjourn early? We can add something to say the hearing is closed and to contact the computer for additional opportunities. Is that what you're trying to say, David?
Yeah, I just want to make it clear that we have set aside X amount of hours each hearing, but if there aren't speakers, that doesn't mean that it's going to be an open microphone.
Do any of the other commission members wish to have input?
I agree with Dave. I don't think it's prudent to just sit here for 2 hours or an hour and a half. And you know, we've got lots of ways for the public to give us their thoughts, and I think as long as we're encouraging people to do that, Sue, you've already reminded people of the meetings tomorrow and the next day and the availability of written comments. So I think as long as we're doing that, then we're fulfilling our obligations and our duty.
Okay, thank you. Chris or Jasmine, do you have any input?
I agree. I think what you said, Sue, about directly contacting those that weren't able to make it and just make sure they know their options. I think if we can handle that, then we will have done our due diligence to make sure that their thoughts were heard.
Okay, Jasmine?
Same. I would just say, I mean, looking at the clock, it's about 7:23. We wait till at least 7:30, just in case someone is having technical difficulties trying to log on. Because I do know that it was a bit difficult to log on at first. Even I experienced some technical difficulties. So it would make me feel better if we wait at least till 7:30 just to make sure no one is able to log on. But yes, I appreciate that You're reminding those watching via YouTube of the other meetings that are coming up both tomorrow and Wednesday, and also that they have the ability to send in written comments. If we can maybe get that the address, the web address for where they submit their written comments so that we can say that before we log off here, that would be great. I say to put it in the chat, but probably those on YouTube can't see the chat. So maybe if we tell them what that address is or where they need to go to find that, so they can submit their written comments. Because of course we want to make sure that we encourage all Iowans to participate and to let their opinions be heard and voiced. Thank you.
The computer people surrounding me here at the office indicate they can do that. Thank you. So we can hang out for just a little bit more, and I hope that Valerie or Dalton can tell us that there's somebody
Yep.
waiting. Thank you.
We do have one more person that has signed on, Elizabeth Hearn.
Well, excellent. Welcome. We've been waiting for you. We're glad you're here. And we invite you to start speaking. The commission is all present and listening.
Yeah, I finally got your email on how to log on. I kept trying to figure out how to get on, so that's why it wasn't on earlier. But yes, I appreciate the chance to speak. I believe Iowa's always had fair redistricting policies in the past, and I'd like to keep the politics out of it, stick with the way we've done redistricting in the past. So that's what I say.
Okay. You have anything else you'd like to share?
Are there?
We didn't catch that. It kind of got cut off.
I was going to say it's echoing, isn't it?
Yeah, but we can hear you. So do you have something else you'd like to say?
Yeah, just what I said. Did you get all of that?
Yes, we did.
Okay, thank you. It's because it was echoing back at me now, and I'm trying to figure. I'm not good at technology, so it's got to be an easier way to do this. But I wanted to voice that I want to stick with the redistricting and the way we've done it in the past to keep it fair.
Okay. Thank you very much.
Yes, yes, it is.
Okay, we're glad we waited then, and we still are focused, looking for three more people, I think, if my count is right. So hopefully one of them will still join us. Sorry, what? I still, yeah, number 1 and number 2 and number 7.
Nancy Porter's number 6. You could put a question in.
Okay, one of the previous speakers would like to add one more little thing, since nobody used their whole time. Nancy Porter has one more thing she'd like to add.
Oh, well, thank you. Can you hear me?
Yes?
Oh, good. You're in total control of that, aren't you? Yes, good. No, I just wondered if the criteria would be presented by the commissioners at one of these meetings tonight or tomorrow or tomorrow noon or the next night.
Yeah, yes. No, we were kind of expecting a few more people on these hearings. And so we allocated some time at the Thursday meeting. We have a meeting on Thursday, and we were going to kind of delve in a little deeper. It's all online on the legislative website as to the criteria and
Yes, right.
and what ranks first and second and third. But the Legislative Services Agency was going to do a little review as to the process that they had conducted, as they usually do for these every 10-year maps. And so at the meeting on Thursday, which I believe is at 4 o'clock, we will
Yes.
be having an electronic meeting that you and everyone else is invited to as well.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. No one else? Okay, so we still, it's not quite 7:30, but no one else is joining the pipeline, so we'll sit tight. And again, we encourage anyone out there who's listening to submit written comments or sign up for tomorrow at noon or Wednesday at 6.
Madam Chair, do you need a motion to close the hearing or what?
I suppose, David, that would probably be in order. And then we can work from this end to put something online so that anybody coming on to the hearing will know that we've closed it for tonight. So if you would, I suppose a motion would be in order, yes.
Well, I'll move that we close the hearing due to no other attendees.
Do I have a second?
Second.
Okay. Is there any discussion? All in favor, say aye.
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 All opposed? Okay, for the first hearing of the 2021 Temporary Redistricting Advisory Commission is closed. And we'll see everybody again tomorrow at noon. Thank you.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you.